Yes, welcome everyone. Today we are doing Z transform based on the impulse function and unit step function. So let's see what is impulse function in the Z transform and unit step function in the Z transform. So first of all, we will cover what is unit impulse function in the Z transform. So in the mathematics, if we just talking about the Z transform for the impulse function, which is unit impulse function, it is in mathematics defined as a delta k, or we can also say delta n equals to 1, 0. Here you can just keep any constant, any variable like delta n, delta k, whatever we want, we can just put. So delta n equals to either it is defined as 1 or 0. 1 we define pulse function if the value of n is 0, and if it is not 0 then we say delta of n equals to 0. So this is the definition of the unit impulse function in the Z transform. So if we are using the Z transform of the impulse function, so what we will do, we'll just take Z on the both side, means Z transform of unit impulse function. This was the unit impulse function, this is unit impulse function, and we are finding the Z transform of it. So taking Z transform, for this what we can write, Z of delta n, and this can be defined Z transform from n0 to infinity delta n z to the power minus n, delta n z to the power minus n. Now since n vary from 0 to infinity, we'll just keep the value of it when n equals to 0. So when n equals to 0, how we define in mathematics unit impulse function? This is delta of n when n equals to 0, so 1. So we'll substitute here 1. Now for other value when n equals to 1, 2 to infinity, this is as a 0 when n is not equals to 0. So we'll write 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. So addition of 1 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals to 1. So Z transform of the unit impulse function is now defined as a Z of delta n, this equals to 1. So this is the standard result now, ki Z transform of the unit impulse function which is equals to 1. Now we are talking about unit step sequence and its Z transform. So first of all, we'll just define in mathematics what is unit step sequence. So for the unit step sequence, let's see the definition. This is the definition of the unit step sequence. It is defined in mathematics by u of n. Since we are calling is a unit step sequence, so we are denoting this as a un. This is equals to, again this is 1 or 0, but here we define 1 if n equals to 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. But if n is less than 0, means the value of n is negative below the 0, so we'll write always un equals to 0. So this is the definition of unit step sequence. So unit step sequence which we define un, this is either 1 or 0. When it is 1, if the value of n is 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on, and if it is negative, n is negative, we say 0. Now we are going to find Z transform of unit step sequence. To find the Z transform of unit step sequence, we'll just take Z of un. Z of un means Z transform of unit step sequence. To write the definition of the Z transform, which is defined, you will just write the function here and Z to the power minus n by, this is by definition of Z transform. So we are writing this value here. This is the formula. Again the same thing, if we are varying this from 0 to infinity. So from 0 to infinity, the value of un 0 to infinity is 1, either it is 0. So we'll just put 1 plus 0 means this is the 1. For every case from 0 to 1 to infinity, this is 1. So we'll write the 1 into z to the power minus n, because the value its value is 0 to infinity, and for the 0 to infinity the value of the unit step sequence 1, to substitute 1 here. Now this can be written 1 upon z to the power n, this value can be written. So we have written. Now expand it for the 0 to infinity. So if we are putting the value of n 0, so we know 1 upon z to the power 0, that is this equals to 1. So write here 1. Then n equals to 1 by z. When n equals to 2, this is 1 upon z square. 1 upon z the whole square, we can write z square, and so on. So in this way you will get this value. And we know this can be written, this value can be written z upon z minus 1. We can write this value. How we can write? Because this is actually 1 minus 1 upon z to the power minus 1. And if we are taking LCM, this we can write z minus 1 upon z to the power minus 1. And if we are just using this inverse as a to the power 1, so we can write this as a z upon z minus 1. So this is what? This is the z transform of unit step sequence. So now we have two formulae. One is the z transform of the delta function, delta sequence, and the z transform of the unit step sequence. Now we'll just check some examples based on it, okay, how we can just use the z transform for the unit step sequence and for the delta function. Now see the example. This is the example number 1 here. The question which is find z of n minus 1 un. What is un here? We have seen here this un is nothing but it is unit step sequence. So we want to find the z transform of this function which is the product of the unit step sequence. So we know the definition of the unit step sequence. It is 1 if n vary from 0 to infinity, if it is 0 when it is a negative, n is negative. This already we have studied in this part. So the same definition we have recalled here, un is defined as a 1 and 0. It is 1 if n is 0 to infinity, it is 0 if n is negative. So just put this value for fn. But this is fn now. This is our question, fn, function of n. So since function of n is n minus 1 into un, and for the unit step sequence for the z transform, we have to write for 0 to infinity. So for the 0 to infinity we know the value of the unit step sequence is 1. So put here 1. So now your function is becoming n into n minus 1. Into 1 means n into n minus 1 times of 1 means n into n minus 1. Now taking z transform, because you want to find a z transform of this function which is the multiple of unit step sequence. So multiply it by z of fn. So z of fn means n into n minus 1. This can be written z of n square minus n. You can break it z of n square minus z of n. So you have z transform of fn square. We know this is the formula. Z of n square is defined as a z square plus z upon z minus 1 the cube. Similarly, z of n, this is the formula. This is z of n equals to z by z minus 1 the square. So we have these two formulae. Now put these formulae in this to find the result. So we will substitute the value of z n square, which is I am writing z square plus z upon z minus 1 the cube. And the same here, I will just write minus so this is, yes, this is minus here, and z of n means z of z upon z minus 1 the square. Now solving this value, we have to take the LCM. So the LCM is z minus 1 the cube, because this is the higher power as compared to these two. So we can write this z square plus z minus z of z minus 1 if we are taking LCM. So solving this, if we will solve, we'll get here, I'm writing the z of fn means z of n into n minus 1 into un, which is, if I'll solve, z square plus z minus z square, and this is plus z upon z minus 1 the cube. So this is cancelling, we'll get 2z upon z minus 1 the cube. So this is your answer of the question. Z transform of n into n minus 1 of the unit step function, which is equals to 2z upon z minus 1 the cube. So hence we have this answer in the terms of the z, because this is the z transform of the required function. Now our next topic is initial value theorem. So for the initial value theorem, we have to see the formula of the z transform first. So what is z transform? We know the z transform of the function we write as a f of z. Always if we are taking the z transform of any function, so this is written as a function of z, because always we get the function of z, like in the previous question we are getting the function of z. Similarly here you will get function of z. So in the initial value, what we have to do, we have to take the limit z tends to infinity in the result. So if we are writing z tends to infinity in this result, means f of z, for the limit z tends to infinity f of z, will get f of 0. So this is your initial value theorem. What is initial value theorem? Ki in the z transform, what is z transform? We know in the z transform z fn equals to fz, if we are putting here lt z tends to infinity on both sides, so here also if we are taking z tends to infinity, so we will just find out the initial value which is of f of 0. Initial means the value for which you are starting your problem. This is z equals to 0, at z equals to n equals to 0. So for n equals to 0, f of 0 always defined as a limit z tends to infinity f of z. Now we want to prove of this initial value theorem, because this is very important part and we want to solve the same result with the proof. So we are just going to find the initial value problem, means f of 0 equals to limit f of z at z tends to infinity. So for the proof we know f of z equals to z f of n. And how we are writing z f of n? This is always as a definition of the z transform fn z to the power minus n when n vary from 0 to infinity. So just write this definition here of the z transform, and taking again the same summation n0 to infinity fn, this we can write 1 upon z to the power n. So we have the function f of n z to the power n where n vary from 0 to infinity. Now this is actually f of z on the left hand side. So f of z equals to, if we are just putting the summation n value from 0 to infinity, so first of all we'll get f of 0 plus f of 1 z to the power 1, f of 0 z to the power 0, and z to the power 0 is 1, so that's why we are writing only f of 0. The next is f of 1 upon z to the power 1 means z, f of 2 z square, f of 3 z cube, and so on. Now since we have to take the limit z tends to infinity to prove the initial value theorem, so we'll take z tends to infinity on both sides. So if we are writing z tends to infinity on both sides, so this is already 0, f of 0, and this is f1 upon z. So 1 upon, from the 1 upon z at z tends to infinity, if we are putting, this is always equal to 0. So this is 0, this is 0, next is 0, and all are 0 except f of 0. Because here is no z, this is the constant value, initial value, so we'll substitute as it is. So what we have now result? We have at limit z tends to infinity f of z equals to f of 0, this one. And this is what this is. This is nothing but this is the initial value theorem. Means f of 0 equals to limit z tends to infinity f of z. So hence we have this initial value theorem. The same if you want to write f of 1. F of 1 equals to, we can write, if we are proving the same result for f of 1, we'll get limit z tends to infinity z f of z minus f of 0. F of 2 equals to limit z tends to infinity, here z square because you are finding second, z square f of z minus f of 0 minus f1 upon z. So f1 upon z we can write f1 z to the power minus 1. The same for f of 3. Limit z tends to infinity z cube f of z minus f of 0 f1 upon z f2 upon z square. So this, in this way we can write f4 also. This is limit z tends to infinity z to the power 4 f of z minus f of 0 minus f1 upon z, or we can write z to the power minus 1, whatever your wish you can do, and f2 upon z square or z minus 2, and the next is f of 3 upon z cube, or means z to the power minus 3. So in this way we can write for the next value for the function when n vary for 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So for the 0 we say it is a initial value theorem, and from this we can find the other value very easily. But for this we should have the initial value from the initial value problem. This was the initial value problem. Similarly, we have final value theorem. That was initial value theorem. This is final value theorem. The final value theorem is defined as, we know, if z fn equals to f of z, then this is the final value theorem. Limit n tends to infinity fn equals to limit z tends to 1. If we are writing z tends to 1, we'll write here z minus 1 dot f of z. Means we are using here the function for which you are finding the final value, and since we are taking z tends to 1, we'll write here z minus 1. So this is final value theorem. The proof of this we are seeing how we can prove the same. So we know that z f of n plus 1, in the previous result we have seen what is f of n plus 1. We can write the same here. If we are writing z f of n plus 1, so we can write f of n plus 1 in the similar way, right? Like lt z tends to infinity. Here 4 we will write z to the power n plus 1. Here we can write f of z minus f of 0 minus f of 1 by z, and so on up to the, and like it is n, it is 4, so here you are stopping at 3, it is n plus 1, so we will stop this at f of n upon z to the power n. So in this way we can use this concept. So what we are doing, we are writing z f of n plus 1. So z f of n plus 1 can be written z fz minus f of 0, and z f of n plus 1, if we are just subtracting on both side minus f of z here, in both we are subtracting minus f of z on both side, and this f of z can be written z f of n. So we are substituting the same here. Here we are taking, we are just opening this and taking common here, we can write this and this together to get z minus 1 f of z minus z f of 0, and here this we are writing instead of f of z, which is z f of n. Now we can just write this from n0 to infinity f of n plus 1. We are using the z transform definition for this, n0 to infinity f of n plus 1 z to the power minus n. Similarly, here we are using the z transform definition f of n z to the power minus n. This is from definition of z transform we are writing, and this is z minus 1 f of z minus z f of 0 as it is. Now opening it for the summation, we can take this together to take common z to the power minus n, and this is same. Now taking limit z tends to 1, because we are just proving the final theorem. Z tends to 1, z tends to 1 on both sides, and taking limit. If we are taking limit on both sides, this we can write limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 fz minus f of 0, because here z is 1, so you have to substitute z equals to 1 here. In the same, z equals to 1, so we are putting z equals to 1, means 1 to the power minus n is nothing, so we have this value. So ultimately we have this, we are writing on the left hand side, limit z tends to 1, z minus 1 f of z minus f of 0. This is equals to summation n0 to infinity f of n plus 1 minus f of n. This we are writing here, and this we are writing here. Now opening it for n0 to infinity, so we can write for the n0 to infinity f of n plus 1 minus f of n plus the lowest value of it, f of n minus 1, then f of n minus 1, f of n minus 2, and the last value will be f of 1 minus f of 0. So these terms are cancelling, so we have finally limit n tends to infinity f of n plus 1 and the last value f of 0. And since n equals to infinity, so if we are substituting n tends to infinity here, we have here f of infinity minus f of 0, and this f of 0 is cancelling. So ultimately we have the function f of n at n tends to infinity, which is equals to at limit z tends to 1 z minus 1 into f of z. This is our final value theorem. This is final value theorem of Z transform of Z transform. Now we'll see some example based on initial and final value theorem. See example number 1. So just check here what is the example. The example is, if f of z equals to z f of n, then find f of 0 and f of 1. They are asking what is the value of the initial value f of 0 and f of 1 when the function is given by f of z equals to z upon z minus 1 plus z upon z square plus 1. And we know that the f of z equals to z f of n. This is the main definition of the Z transform. Now in this question we have fz equals to z upon z minus 1 plus z upon z square plus 1. This is given question. Now taking the initial value theorem, the initial value theorem we have just proved in the previous pages. So f of 0 we can write limit z tends to infinity f of z. So limit z tends to infinity, f of z is given z upon z minus 1 plus z upon z square plus 1. So we have written. Now we will just solve the limit for z tends to infinity. So to solve this limit z tends to infinity, take z common from the numerator and denominator. We will get here 1 minus 1 by z. Here we'll get, if we are taking common here z, so this z is cancelling and we'll get z plus 1 by z. And since 1 upon z is 0, to substitute 0 here, so this is now 1 plus here we are getting 1 by z. So ultimate we have 1 plus 1 by z. Again 1 by z is 0, so you have the value 1. So for this particular question, what is the initial value? The initial value f of 0 equals to 1. So this portion is very important in the Z transform. We should clear always for solving any research problem or for solve any equation by using Z transform. We should know how to find the initial value and how to find the final value. So that's why this topic is very important, because this we can use as a application part. Now they are asking what is f of 1 next. So we are just using f of 1. The formula of f of 1. So we know the formula of f of 1 equals to limit z tends to infinity z f of z. Already we just explained about here how to write f of 1. Already we clear. This is z into f of z minus f of 0. So what is f of z here in this question? F of z for this question is required question z upon z minus 1 plus z upon z square plus 1. It is already given fz, so just substitute, and minus f of 0 in the formula. And f of 0 is coming since 1, so put up here 1 and limit z tends to infinity z upon z minus 1 z upon z square plus 1 as it is. Again solve the same for the limit z tends to infinity. So for this we can write z upon z minus 1 minus 1 minus 1 together, and this z upon z square plus 1 here, just taking the LCM now. If you are taking LCM or solving this, we will get the function here z upon z square plus 1 upon z minus 1. Now take this z inside, so we will get z upon z minus 1 and z square upon z square plus 1. Now solve it for the limit z tends to infinity. So if we are solving for the limit z tends to infinity, we'll get here f of 1 equals to 2. What we will do here, we'll take in this particular z is a common. So if we are taking z is a common from the numerator, we'll take z from the denominator to 1 minus 1 upon z. So this is cancelling, and 1 upon 1 minus 1 by z is 0, so 1 upon 1 means 1, plus now same for it, take z square as a common, and this z square from the denominator, so here is 1 upon 1 plus 1 upon z square. This is cancelling, again putting z tends to infinity 1 upon z 0, so again we'll get 1, so 1 plus 1 equals to 2. So hence we have f of 1 equals to 2. So in this way, by using the initial value theorem and final value theorem, we can find any value for the Z transform, any function value. We can find any limit, any value from using this concept, initial value theorem and final value theorem. So if we have Z transform of any function, so we can find its initial value very easily.